What's up, everyone? This is Blinkers Off.
Are we live?
Live. Yeah, I think we're going live right now.
All right, let's do it.
Blinkers Off live.
Let me mute my TV.
Yeah, we got TVG on right now, of course.
Yep.
You know, what else would we do?
Right.
Blinkers Off live, like we are doing every week, with both Blinkers Off and the Magic Mike Show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back on YouTube now. Last we've been doing them on Twitter.
Do you like YouTube?
I love YouTube. It's obviously we're a little late here because we had some technical difficulties, but nothing that was the fault of YouTube.
No, or me,
or you, yeah,
or anybody really.
Hang on, let me share this link out to the folks on our social accounts, and we get going.
Sounds good.
Little technical.
Hold on, let me text Paul. He wants to know when we're live. Let's see.
We do this every week where we gonna get a firsthand look of the Blinkers Off, and then this is the recording we do for the podcast each week. So it'll come out tomorrow on Friday, but we do this a day early. So we typically record them, and then you we stay on after we cut and stuff. You can ask questions, and we're gonna do a mailbag later. So if you have any questions, make sure you save them for there.
Do we know where the comments are coming from now? Like, we know where to look?
Yeah.
I know last time that was a problem. Paul just texted me he's watching from work and he yelled really loud.
Good thing he's working hard.
Right, yeah. Not a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, this is we were kind of complaining earlier, but this is a good week to kind of tap the brakes a little bit. Because this is it. I mean, once we get after this week, it's, it's all hands on deck. Yeah,
and really, this week is in like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like Monday was good, and this weekend will be okay. But yeah, the Derby preps. We don't have any this week. That's sad. I wish one of the tracks would try to schedule one this week, like the Jeff Ruby Stakes. Make it this week.
Yeah,
nobody cares about that anyway.
Yeah, make it the highlight of the week. You'd get in to watch that.
Yeah.
Hey, we got some people on now, and there's some comments. You see the
all right. Oh yeah,
Magic. What's up, Magic? Austin.
Hey, Magic and Austin. So the people that
we basically listen to it anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, congratulations, you're on too.
Yep. Who's on? Somebody else? Oh, I thought you said somebody else was on. Okay. Yeah. Magic says, "Mind That Bird Derby is Sunday. Right for the Sunland Derby."
There you go.
All right.
Congratulations on that race.
Straight vodka, by the way.
Oh,
that's good. All right.
All right, let's do it.
I don't even know what we're talking about today, so this will be fun.
Just the way I like it. You just wing it. So I was talking to Patrick yesterday. Patrick does the rap on the XM.
I know Patrick.
Mad Dog, Channel 82. Anyways, I was talking to him last night. We were talking about like preparing and stuff. And I was like, yeah, usually I'm very prepared, and Halterman wings it. So that's kind of the given that you and I have on this show.
That's right. Jared called me and said, hey, we're gonna do this, didn't listen to a word of it. Now I'm ready.
And then I got here and said, what are we doing again?
Yeah.
All right.
And now we're getting ready to record it. And what are we doing again?
Let me hit the record on. I'm at the bar. Good for you.
Who's at the bar? Austin?
Yeah. Hey, and I know Dennis, you're on. I think was Dennis, you were on last week, right? So
that name sounds familiar.
Yeah. So we're together. Less technical difficulties on your end. Can everyone, I guess, hear us fine? So
hear us, see us. Yep.
All right. Let's double check.
That's good vodka. McCormick's.
Yeah. Hey, and I know Dennis. Difficulties.
Remember the McCormick days?
I guess hear us
by vodka.
So. Oh yeah,
McCormick's vodka from the bottom shelf. And Aristocrat, we drank that a lot too.
Oh yeah,
that was rubbing alcohol basically.
I'm too old for that kind of stuff now.
Me too.
I can't. Yeah. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. This Blinkers Off live. What's going on, man?
What is up? Yeah, we're at the studio. I guess this is kind of our new studio with kid number 2 for you.
Yeah,
this is kind of the new place. So
this is my escape.
We're live at the studio. We are live on whatever we're on now, YouTube
It's on YouTube now.
Whatever the kids are
Yeah,
using.
so you guys, listening, that's we've been starting to do these live more and more. We switched to YouTube. We did YouTube for the first time on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then Magic Mike did it. And so we go to our YouTube channel, just look up Racing Dudes on YouTube, and we're gonna start posting all our podcasts live. That way you can tune in Thursday, or we do whatever day, the day before usually tune in, so you kind of hear and you can ask questions. We're doing Mailbag today, so that we could get live feedback, live interaction from people on as well. We do it during the day, usually during a weekday, so we get it's tough to get people as many people as at night, but this is what we do.
Yeah, whatever.
But to encourage everyone listening, also listen on later on. And if you're listening to this podcast on Friday, this is a good reason to tune in when we do it live, because first you get it early. Mm-hmm. You get the raw content, which is sometimes terrible and awesome together. And we're going to start doing trivia on these. We'll ask one trivia question while we do these live and give out free passes to our premium picks.
The last trivia game I played, we were on vacation, Heather and I, and we played, we were at a bar/restaurant. We played 5 other teams and we got last. By like a wide margin last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least you were.
We played. We participated. So anyway.
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys do better than.
And some comments here. People asking. I played around with the latency. It's called. If you turn it down to a lower latency, which maybe makes it blurry at times, the comments will come in. Live comments, we'll see them when you guys ask them, versus if you do a highlight latency, it might be a little clearer, but then we might be a delay, so we might talk longer, and then the question finally gets to us. So I thought we'll try it this way. If it looks terrible, we'll go back.
No idea what he's talking about, but we just hit a huge trifecta at Oakland, I think, unless they screw us out of the photo. It's really close. That's why I wasn't paying attention. I was watching the race. That could have been really big.
People were asking about the can you guys see us all right? You good? All right. Let's get into this podcast.
Yep.
For those listening on Friday, what do you got?
It's just it's one of those weeks where we're kind of just going to reflect on what happened for the first part of the year, and then look ahead to what's going to happen for the next part of the year, because that's when it's going to get really fun, right? And this week it's just kind of it's there for us. But I mean, the betting is still going to be good. There's still I've already looked at Saturday and Sunday's cards. Sundays are just trickling in. Haven't looked at all of them yet, but I think there's a lot of for betting, a lot of really good opportunities this week. Starting with today, if you're listening to this on Friday, this is the recorded show with the Stronach Pick 5. That's got 169.
Carryover. Yeah,
carryover. You can listen to Magic Mike show. Covered that really well. Enjoyed their show. But yeah, I mean, so there's a lot going on for the betting. But as far as the Derby and the big picture and the big stakes, we got nothing this week.
Magic Mike talked about it too. On you go to there are live podcasts from our channel as well. They did one last night and it came out today, but they talked about it too. It's like, I don't know if they're even going to do a recap show this week, because it's just not a lot to get excited. I guess if you want to talk about Sunland for 30 minutes and who's going to run in the Sunland Derby. But
well, I mean, at least with Sunland, that is something to talk about. But there's a race at Gulfstream that's just okay. There's a race at San Diego that's just okay. I mean, you got to take your breath every now and then, and I guess that's what we're going to do.
And what we're doing right now, man, it's like it's just all hands on deck. The whole team, we're focused on Derby. That's all I think about. Whether it be in our league. And that's what's great about the league. It's all intertwined to the bigger picture. Yeah. And we got it's the end of February. It's officially the February preps are done, and we're all into the 50-point races, and then 100 points after that. Yep. And so we're starting, and we still have the big horses that we're still waiting on. Mm-hmm. So this is like the perfect time to kind of look back and reflect on what we've been seeing and kind of what we think could happen. So we're going to talk just kind of Derby stuff, and then we're going to do the mailbag. Before we get anything, though, you know the drill.
Yeah, best thing saw. Yeah, and it's got to be the Blues for me. St. Louis Blues, how about 11 in a row, a franchise record? They got that on Tuesday night. As soon as we're done recording this, the Blues will be on. So tonight's game with the Blues is going to go for 12 in a row, obviously just extending the franchise record. Rookie goaltender, carrying us right now. Unbelievable. And he wasn't even a highly thought of goaltender in the minor leagues. We have another guy that we thought would be the guy. But Bennington's the man right now. So the Blues on quite a roll. We were just done for, out of the playoffs, looking for next year. Now we're back in.
You know, I texted you this after when they started. I think it was like after 10, and I said something crazy has happened in St. Louis, and that was kind of a play on the line. You know, people have seen Moneyball in the Athletics that year when they went on. I can't remember the streak, what number it was, but set the record for most wins in a row, and they were exact same situation, struggling out of the playoffs. Yeah. And then boom, they go on the streak, and it's just sometimes it's crazy when you start rattling off wins together like this. You become a whole totally different team.
Yeah, I mean, Tuesday night blew a 2-goal lead and had to win it in overtime, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh gosh, this is typical Blues, but they come through. Yeah, let's hope they keep it up. I wish they would have waited maybe 10 more games down the road. They might flatten out again before the playoffs. We'll see though. Got a good roster, so we're excited about the Blues. That's for me.
This is hilarious. This is the first time because we've not done this, first of all, live like this for Best Thing I Saw. But there's a fan on here that actually has my Best Thing I Saw. Dennis, dude, that's what I was going to talk about. Zion Williamson last night. I'm not going to condone him getting hurt. That sucks. But it's like this has to be talked about because it's like the game of the year as far as college. Well, not even college basketball. The ticket prices. It was the second highest.
Yeah,
huge. Besides the Super Bowl, for you taking this damn thing, first minute of the game, Zion goes down. Not to do any, not to. It had nothing to do with him jumping or came down weird or whatever. He blew out his shoe.
I've never seen that,
and I wanted to talk about this because I looked today and the Nike stock was down at open over 1%, which in those terms was over $1 billion in cap. And then I think it ended the day down over 1%. But
wow,
I kind of joked about it last night saying the stock's going to plummet. Well, it actually took a hit.
Do you know what it really reminded me of more than anything else? And this is, I don't know why it did, but when they showed the shoe, it reminded me of like, you've seen the movie The Sandlot, obviously, when they knocked the cover off the baseball. That's what that shoe looked like.
It was
it's just like, what happened?
And it somehow like adds to this. He's already like a freak. In general, it's like he literally just like pushed out of his shoe, like he shredded his Nikes apart by stepping on them and kind of cutting, like they started to, and it of course tweaked his knee.
Yeah, what's the report on that? Is there?
I mean, I think it's not like major serious, but he might be out for a little while, and then of course it's added to the whole fuel of. They should not have to play a year of basketball. They should be able to go right to the NBA if they want to. Yeah. And so this whole deal, you think about the money that was involved last night in that game, whether it be, I think Duke got all the way up to like plus or minus 10 is what they ended up getting up to.
And they got smoked.
And the guy goes out. Everyone goes to the game. I tuned into
Obama was at the game.
Obama was there. I tuned into the game to watch Zion. And as soon as he went out, I was like, I'll just check it on my phone. I mean, I'm not a huge college basketball guy, so I just kind of checked. But when Zion was in, I wanted to watch. And then like the market cap, obviously, with the Nike stock today. I mean, there's a lot of money, and the ticket. Like, can you imagine going and spending $2,000 on a ticket because like Zion, he's going to be all pro. He's a legend. Yeah, it's the only time I'm ever going to be able to watch this guy play because whatever
he's playing North Carolina. Yeah,
and he goes out in the first 30 seconds or whatever it was, dude. Okay, so I mean that was just if you haven't seen it, go watch the replay. It literally cuts and comes out of the shoe.
It's unreal.
So, all right, let's get to today's show. We give an update on the Kentucky Derby Trail, including the contenders, which contenders stocks are up or down as we head into March, some disappointing prospects who could rebound, the best performances so far, and more. The dudes then opened the mailbag after a long absence. We had to take the dust off that one. I went back and looked.
There's a reason why.
We looked at the mailbag. It was like, I want to say 2015.
I'm dreading it.
It's been a while. How many mail letters do you think we have from Optimizer? We just stopped responding. For that joke, you'll have to be a long time
listener for a long time. You'll understand that joke. Yeah.
We're gonna go through the mailbag though and answer some of your listener questions. Let's go.
Well, does Optimizer have one for real?
No.
Okay. Good.
No.
Good. Okay.
Oh shit, that would have been funny though.
Oh, man. So we did hit that trifecta at Oaklawn. Yep. So that's good. Very good. The winner was a horse named Molly's Game, and Terry Thompson, the rider, the winner of the Southwest, won the 7th race at Oakland.
This guy.
Terry Thompson, when I first got into the game, Terry Thompson was like a great rider at Oakland. Everybody knew him. Then he would go to Prairie Meadows and win every race. And then he got old. And like, you know, our younger friends from Arkansas now always make fun of me, like, Terry Thompson, like, this isn't 15 years ago, dude. You know? Well, how about now?
Yep.
Southwest and well, that race didn't mean much.
Well, I remember when Paul texted me because Super Steed was running in the Smarty, and he's like, "Who is this? Like, who's this Terry Thompson?"
Yeah, Paul doesn't know who Terry Thompson is. Yeah.
And I explained to it, it's like, well, you know, it's not exactly like anymore the greatest. It used to be where if he's on, like you say, of course, look, it goes to show you what happened in the Southwest. So.
Yeah, Terry Thompson used to ride for Dwayne Lucas a lot too. He was the rider of Dublin. If you remember Dublin.
Oh yeah.
And a couple other Lucases too were rode by Terry Thompson. So yeah, that I mean, interesting, right?
My wife just texted me and said my son Cohen is watching. So hey, Cohen.
Oh, I know why he's watching.
What's up, buddy? He's over there saying, Aaron, Dada, Aaron.
I haven't seen Cohen in a while.
I know, man.
Wow, come on.
Literally every time I put my jacket on, he thinks I'm going to Aaron to see Aaron.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Or if anyone's coming over, it's Aaron.
So is that the only time you leave the house when you come here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus.
I know it's pretty crazy over there.
Bad.
What is Cohen's favorite go-go magic? Oh man, it's Justify. He's got a stuffed animal Justify, and he has to sleep with every night. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, he Jared bought it for him at the Kentucky Derby, and we called him Justify, and he always brings me and shows me Justify. Yeah.
Fun fact though, as well. Anytime, and this is God's honest truth. He loves 8. 8's his favorite number. It just so happens to be. And he loves the pink saddle cloth. By the way, my son knows the saddle cloth colors that goes with the numbers. So props to that. But anytime the 8's in the field and Cohen watches a race with me, that horse will outrun its odds every time. So I'm like, every time it's like, hey, sit on Daddy's lap, let's watch. The 8's like 30-1. Put money on it. So
Father of the Year candidate right there. There you go.
That's my boy. That's I'm hoping that get him learning early. So all right, let's get into. Let me start recording for this next segment. All right, we're just gonna kind of
wing it,
free ball this one here. Oh yeah, wing it. Yeah.
That's great.
3, 2, 1. All right, we have a little bit of a break here this week, so we figured we would talk a little bit about what we've seen on the Kentucky Derby Trail so far, which has been rough, a little bit high and lows, and then kind of prepare ourselves for what we're about to see, because it
hopefully isn't rough.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, but if it is, we're in trouble. Yeah. But let's talk. Let's kind of go through a couple of range of topics. Let's first talk about the news that just broke. Recently this week, and that was that the talk has been that it was going to be, and it makes sense that Improbable was coming to the Rebel. I mean, you could almost put a lock on that was going to happen, and then Game Winner, both going to make their debuts, the 3-year-old debuts. Game Winner make his start in the San Felipe, and then Mucho Gusto. We just figured wherever he ends up, that's where he'd be. Yeah. Baffert now comes out and says, no, they're going to run. I'm going to likely run them together in the San Felipe, which he doesn't want to ship, blah, blah, blah. It's never been the case before. And on top of that, both horses, this is the most important thing to remember. Both horses are undefeated. Yeah. And Baffert is not one to, that matters to him. Yeah. It matters to everyone. But he a 3-year-old that's on the trail for the Kentucky Derby, winning the Kentucky Derby as undefeated.
So it's huge.
That's huge.
It's huge, yeah. And you're going to run them against each other in a Grade 2 race
in March.
Yeah. For I think, what is it, $300,000? I think it's worth. The money really is irrelevant. Right now you're trying to get into the Derby the best way possible. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second. I don't think they're going to run against each other in that race. I don't particularly know why he's saying this. He could be trying to mess with the connections of Instagram. Maybe try to scare that horse away. Maybe he's trying to scare Galilean away. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I don't really care what he says about the shipping or this or that. Nothing about that makes sense to me. You pointed it out. Why race 2 undefeated 3-year-old colts against each other? It's just crazy. So if they make the gate, I will be shocked as far as if they both start in that race. But I've been confused about what the plan is with these two horses from the start of this year, to be honest with you. I don't really know. And I don't think he really knows who the better one is this year. Usually he does, and he tells us. He has not said a word. So,
no. And usually you can kind of count on the better one tends to run at Oaklawn. And so you kind of, I mean, I know we have a small sample of that lately.
Yeah.
You know, at one point, Justify was going to come to the Arkansas Derby, and then he got moved, you know, and obviously we know who was better there. But you kind of assume, and you just assume he loves Oaklawn, and he's going to send at least one of his top two there because they're running for $1 million. That's the thing. Like, people get so caught up in just the point side of things, but you got to remember these owners as well. Mm-hmm. They won't run for a purse of $1 million.
$1 million, and you know, for Improbable especially, it's not like he's desperate for points, but he could use a win. You know, game winner's pretty much in. Yeah. But Improbable, he's got 10 points. He needs a win. So,
and running him against,
if you run him against game winner and Instagram, if Instagram shows up in that race and all of a sudden he gets third somehow, he's on the bubble a little bit. You know, I still think he'll get in, but I'm not quite sure he'd finish third in that race. But just saying, if, you know, it doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, I don't really buy it, but we'll see, I guess.
But the thing is, like, and it's not like those are easily his top two. But you also have Mucho Gusto, who there's been talk that he would be the horse to come in and being at Oaklawn if those two actually do stay home.
And great for me.
Great for you. Mm-hmm. And then you have Desmond, who's kind of he wasn't even mentioned in that. And he mentioned three horses, those three. So that's clearly the three that are standing out to him at this juncture. Yeah. You have Desmond, who ran okay. Last out, I think worth running in the stakes somewhere. And then you got Roadster, who's working out, but
I have no idea.
I've tried so hard to look at that schedule and see where that would fit for him to run. You know, you have to remember Roadster is a horse who is only has a maiden to his name. Yeah, you know, and that was we're talking about Instagram being so long off. He only ran a month after Instagram. Yeah. So I mean, this horse has been on 6 months. Yeah. So you got to, and only has a maiden. So you have to think that he would shoot for an easy allowance at Oaklawn and then go to final stakes. But the timing wise, I'm not sure how it's all going to work out. So that he's kind of has. Well, my point is, he's got 5 horses, 3 particularly that he's trying to balance out their schedules right now.
I know, and it's kind of tough to do, no doubt about it. To me, I think he uses the Sunland Derby for his crappiest horse that he thinks could actually get to the Kentucky Derby. I mean, if you run in Sunland, it makes the schedule really weird. Mm-hmm. You know, there's no doubt. You got to lay him off, or you got to run him back quick and then run him back quick again. So that's going to be questionable who he sends there. I think like Desmond will go there. Roadster makes sense for there too, but and you said it the other day, it's almost like Roadster needs to run here pretty quick.
Yeah, after that blazing work out the gate, it seems like this horse needs to run.
So you can't run him and then run him back in 2.5, 3 weeks, especially a horse that's been off a layoff. He had rumors of quarter cracks. He's had this. He has had that. I don't really know.
Yeah, and the question or comment came in from Ryan, and I agree too as well. It's like there has to be, I've been saying this too, it's like there has to be, one of these has to be pointing to the wood. To that, or at least to that side, because
the Gotham or the wood.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I thought Mucho Gusto would go to.
I did too.
Gotham. Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, he's not great.
But the problem is, if you don't like shipping a horse across the country in May or March or April is difficult.
It is.
Then you got to ship him back home. Then you got to ship him, assuming he runs well.
If you're worried about one, do him, because I don't think he can win it anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who's the scariest person in New York right now?
Oh,
Tax? No. And he's not even running the Gotham. He's going to wait to the Wood, I think.
Oh, he's going to the Wood?
I think he's going to wait directly.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. The Gotham is kind of weird because it's a mile. You know, so you're going to get some sprinter type horses.
See, and to that point, I totally thought that it makes so much sense. And I know you agree. Mm-hmm. Like, don't run Maximus Mischief, who was he faded on his return in the Holy Bull. Don't run him in the loaded Fountain of Youth when he's already dominated on the track in New York.
Yeah,
Run him there.
He needs to run in the Gotham. I think a Global Campaign also needs to run in the Gotham. This Fountain
Get those easy points.
Right
that's another horse that needs points. So both of those do.
Right now, basically what you have the Fountain of Youth that everybody seems to be pointing for, and then the San Felipe, who, if Baffert is being legit, everybody seems to be pointing for.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of other races in this next
Meanwhile, you have
stretch.
Even the Rebel. That's iconic, every year is awesome. And it's like, we have the Super Steed and Grade 10 coming back and
Long Range Toddy and Mucho Gusto. Is that
good Lord, if that's the field, we don't even need to ship in for that one.
Yeah, right.
There's gotta be something more.
Has to be.
And we talked about this earlier, you and I, where we're like, you got the Mott right now, you got the Mott 2, particular Country House and Hidden Scroll. If for whatever reason Hidden Scroll is a no-show in the Fountain Youth, then what changes, Country House's plans? Because now all of a sudden, the Louisiana Derbies are such a weird timing race because it's March 24th.
Well, it's right there with the Sunland Derby too.
Because you can't do both. You can't prep for one.
If you're Lucas, you can. If you're Lucas, you can run in Louisiana and then come back in 2 weeks.
Run in the Arkansas.
Yeah, but not many people want to do that.
So you've got that. Then you might divert. There's a lot of scheduling plans that we just don't know yet. And that kind of leaves us to the next part I wanted to get to here is let's kind of talk a little bit about who, like, as we head into March, whose stock is up, whose stock is down, as far as what we've seen so far.
Well,
or even what we haven't seen. You could say that. Because, as longer we wait for improbable game winner, you have to knock their stock a little bit because we don't know.
If improbable and game winner enter the San Felipe, their stocks are down, in my opinion. Because that means something's up with at least one of them.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I think Instagram's every day he doesn't run, his stock goes down. Right. I am the most down out of the big horses that have quote unquote big horses that have run so far. Maximus Mischief, I'm way down on him.
I know you are. Yeah.
He's out of the top 20 all of a sudden. I'm way down on him.
You're way down on.
Yeah, but I saw that one coming. I thought Maximus Mischief would dominate that race.
It looked like he was going to. That's the thing.
Right. I think all of us in the racing world, one way or the other, we're kind of waiting for Nick's Go to do that. Yeah. It's kind of like, okay. But Maximum Mischief, I thought would be in the top 10 right now.
Yeah.
And he's out. He's got to be the biggest stock down. Nick's Go, obviously, a big stock down. Those probably are the two most disappointing ones.
Which is a good segue into yesterday I tweeted out just randomly. I was like, hey, give me your horse who has ran so far this year that's disappointed, who you think is a top contender to rebound, who will be in the starting gate basically. And the number one response was Maximum Mischief. This horse, I don't know if it's a matter of he had so much hype, like you said, going in to the year into this Holy Bull that he was so poorly bad. Like, he can't be that bad. His numbers don't suggest that he could be that bad, but yet he was.
Yeah.
So what was it? Was it just him being flat? Did he get injured? Is he just not that good? You have to remember not so long ago, last year, when Good Magic made his return in the Fountain of Youth, which is coming up, he was terrible. He was a terrible third against Promises Fulfilled and Strike Power, finished second. So, and of course, he went on to win the Bluegrass, went on to run a winning race in the Kentucky Derby, winning race in the Preakness, and won the Haskell. He obviously had a great year. So, you can't just write one off after the first performance off of the 3-year-old debut, but it gives you much pause. Nick's Go is one to me that, because I think Maximus has 12 or 14 points right now.
He's got 12.
And Nick's Go has 18. Nick's Go has to basically hit the board in one of the last 2 races to get in.
I don't think he's going to. And
that's what I told you, because I told you I was trying to get Patrick to trade with me because I thought he's at least going to get in the game.
Yeah, and he on our league, he has a little value for sure, a little bit. But yeah, listen, you talk about the horse on your tweet that I think is going to bounce back, has the best chance, Mijos. I think
that was the one or two people commented on that one as well.
Because I think Nick's Go and Maximus Mischief, they're candidates for that, but I don't necessarily think they're going to. I think Mijos just got a shit ride, didn't show up. just terrible.
He can't. I guess one of the other ones that like he can't be that bad.
He's way better than what he showed. So if he can, next time out, kind of rebound, I think he could show a little bit better. So he's definitely one. Ryan had a comment, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and how it's held up, not good at all. And maybe that's really bad for game winner, right? Because the Breeders' Cup Juvenile seems to be trash this year.
Well, historically, the juvenile winner doesn't. I mean, I know Good Magic last year.
But you have to look at it as a whole every year. It's not usually great. I mean, Good Magic, Salamini,
and Bob Baffert in particular doesn't. When he doesn't. That's not his MO to like get a horse to win the juvenile and then get a horse to move on and dominate the whole trail as well. It's kind of more like he gets the horse to peak when it matters, and that's why I've liked Improbable so much. Let's take the horses that we have that are kind of the main top 10, 15, 20, whatever you want to do. Let's group them up a little bit. Let's give me your like A horses right now.
This is a great question. I told Ryan this the other day in a text message. I think there are a grand total of what did I tell him? 4 horses that can win. No, sorry, 4 horses that can win the Kentucky Derby right now. 4. That's it.
Improbable, Game Winner, War of Will, and
not War of Will. Hidden Scroll, Instagram, Improbable, Game Winner.
So okay. Not War of Will. Okay.
Here's why. He has not proven he can run a number anywhere close to the 4 I just said.
No, I agree. And
I like War of Will.
We've proven that even Country House looked good, but we still don't know a ton about him, and that field in particular underneath is just awful.
War of Will is the best horse we've seen run in a Derby prep so far. So if War of Will wins the Derby, this is what it means. It means Instagram didn't come back. Hidden Scroll was a one and done type horse. It was a fluke.
Yeah.
That's very possible, by the way. Both of those scenarios. The 2 Baffert horses regressed. Then War of Will is a prime candidate to win.
There's a lot that has to happen though. Like a lot.
The other thing that could happen, I guess the other scenario is he improves by 8 lengths by the time the Derby gets there. I'm not exaggerating. He's about 8 maybe, but 5 to 8 lengths behind the group I just mentioned so far.
Mm-hmm. But again, we're doing a lot of assuming because
and that's not opinion. That's fact based on numbers.
Right, but we have to assume right now that these horses are going to come back as they were.
As of now.
And you don't have, especially Instagram, you just have zero clue what he's going to be.
Vacoma is another horse where it's just like, I'm in a way, like I don't want to drop him off because he's one that's proven I can run close to these horses. Mm-hmm. So if he comes back and can do that again, well, then you have he's a player, but he may suck when he comes back. It's very possible.
So a couple of days ago, a couple of days ago, Slim on Twitter, call him at Saratoga Slim. That's the best follow you can do this time of the year. He tweeted out something about who he said, who has been the most impressive 3-year-old male to run in 2019? So not prep, not anything, 3-year-old male, period. He got 549 votes. So he got a healthy amount of votes.
Makes sense. Yeah.
A wide margin, 47%, War of Will was the winner. 28% was Hidden Scroll. Galleon was 15%, and 10% was Mucho Gusto. Those were his 4 choices, and of course, people could write in. But I mean, to me, Hidden Scroll. I voted ourselves. Well, you're welcome. And I put Hidden Scroll.
Galleon, Mucho Gusto, War of Will. They're all running real similar, real similar numbers. Hidden Scroll, way ahead of him. It's not even close. Again, he could flop.
But dude, we just before we got on the air, they were just they were showing his race again, Hidden Scroll.
He would beat those 3 horses listed.
Guys,
by 10 lengths.
Listen to me. I'm not comparing him to him because you can't compare him to these great horses.
Not yet.
But it was as close to what I've seen this year to that kind of performance when Justified did his thing and that made him special.
It's similar because he went fast early and late.
It was, and the numbers backed it up. It was
it was.
He did it.
One turn and the slop against maidens. That's handicapping.
On a day, and this is worth noting, this is very important to note, is that on a day that the numbers were coming back very high, comparable to what we've seen earlier all throughout the year. Country House received a 70 that day, and of course he showed that his was hell of a lot better than that. So could the numbers be skewed a little bit? Maybe. Yeah. We'll find out. That's his key. We'll get to find out. hopefully the Fountain Youth is not on a sloppy track. If it is, Hidden Scroll.
All I can promise you is if Hidden Scroll shows up with that same race again and he was to face those 3 horses, he would beat them about as bad as he beat those maidens.
Yeah. And if you
it's not maybe not 12 links, but at least 5.
Like, and I hate to say it because he's on my team, but I mean, if he runs like I think he's going to run, I mean, the John and Ryan team goes from even money to 1 to 5 to win the league.
Right.
Okay. So we got those. Those are your key horses. Those are A horses.
Mm-hmm.
Give me, let's call them the B horses, but the horses that have been okay, could do enough, could get to a level maybe where they could be an A horse.
Well, Mucho Gusto, I
Will
think is one. War of Will is definitely one. I think Singleman is a horse I'm hearing a lot of good things about. He's working out well.
Very well. Yes.
Maybe he can jump up. Country House if he really improves. Galilean, maybe if he can prove it against Open Company. That's about it for me.
I'm trying to look at our list here.
That's about it for me.
I don't. Yeah, as well as I've liked a few of these performances, it's a few of them are too early to put them in that group.
You have a lot of horses in this, and let's go right to the C group just real quick. That's the ones that they might make the gate, but they have no shot. Like the Suenos of the world, like that's not a good horse.
Gunmetal Gray. Country House is a borderline C into the B category.
Absolutely,
right now.
Like Mind Control, like Attacks. I'm not really sold on Bourbon War being just a great horse. There's a lot of that right there.
And now this is probably the best group to talk about right now because it's into February going into March. Let's call them the wild cards. This is the group that have shown a flash or have done something where you're like, this horse could miss the starting gate completely.
Yeah. Or
could win, maybe not, but it could be a very high prospect going into the Derby. So let's go with
Vekoma, I think fits that bill.
Yeah, we've been talking about this horse a lot with the fans lately because we're waiting for this horse to come back. Sounds like Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, I think he really fits that bill. Instagram fits that bill. I mean, Instagram could miss the gate completely, and I wouldn't be shocked. So Instagram and Vekoma are the two that we're really waiting for. I think Galilean. I mean, people like to compare him to California Chrome. That doesn't happen very often, so he could really flop as well.
Look at this. This Larry Jones horse, the 9 horse, just
won Larry Jones just won at 23 to 1. Yeah.
Good Lord.
I know. It's unbelievable what's happening in Oakland with the Larry Jones horses. And trust me, that horse should have been 23 to 1.
They were running well. Or 62 or whatever he was, like Super Steed.
Super Steed probably should have been 63 to 1. Yeah.
Where do you throw Super Steed in this conversation?
Super Steed is I
think he's in this one we're talking about right now.
He's in the C to D. Just he's going to fill out the field. Thing about it is he's got 10 points, and if the Rebel comes up light and he runs that kind of race again, he can hit the board. Mm-hmm. The thing about when people analyze the Derby preps and a 63 to 1 shot wins, they all of a sudden say, well, forget that race. I don't want any of them, which is, in this case, it's very, very true. I mean, you're not going to want to play these horses to win the Kentucky Derby. But as far as making the gate, he's ahead of the curve, right? Because he has points. He's running at Oakland where right now there's not a lot of big horses targeting Oakland. Right. He can be shitty and hit the board in either the Arkansas Derby and the Rebel, and he's in the Kentucky Derby starting gate. I mean, that's why I ranked him and Sueno. I think they're horrible, but I think they could make the gate.
Well, they're in the gate, like you said, at this moment. But so does Nick Sco, and you don't have him ranked. So
yeah, but I don't. But I don't think he's going to hit the board another race, and I don't think Maximus Mischief is either, and that's why I don't have him ranked.
Well, I hope you're wrong on Maximus, anyways. But here's a few others I want to talk about in the wild card, and Dennis, you mentioned them too.
Who was it?
Intrepid Heart. You got to mention this horse who really looked flashy at Oakland. Race 3, I think it was, main special weight on Southwest Day. Just first time starter for Pletcher, which is kind of a weird thing to see anyways, to have him a first time starter run at Oakland. Owned by the Lows, who had, of course, Magnum Moon last year, win the Rebel and the Arkansas Derby. So this was like $750,000 purchase out of Tappet. Looks good, ran well. Like you ended up winning by close to 9 links. you kind of been waiting for the Pletcher, right? We've all been waiting for the Pletcher.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when's the Pletcher? This one definitely, at the very least, is like, this is the best Pletcher we've seen.
Yep.
But what does that really mean?
I think it means a little bit, because I think he was good enough and he ran well enough at Oaklawn, and he's owned by the Lows who like to run at Oaklawn. It means enough to say, I think they'll take a shot at the Rebel. You know, who else is he going to bring in for the Rebel? Who else is he going to run anywhere for any race?
I'm telling you, just from what I've seen already, and you can tell how hungry people are for this Pletcher horse to appear, because you look, this horse has been talked about everywhere already, you know, and it's only done this one race and didn't beat much. I mean, to be honest, but came back with a decent number. People are wanting this horse to be good.
I know. And I think a lot of it is that it's the want for the horse to be good. I think he proved a lot.
And I think it's just assuming like it's Pletcher, he runs in the Derby, he doesn't have anything.
Someone's
got to do it.
I'm not sold on the horse completely, but I do think he's good enough to take a shot and prove us wrong. Well, prove me wrong. Some people think he can win a race like the Rebel. So,
and, you know, and it depends on who comes. He could, I guess, if he improves off that. And it's a big, you know, there's been talk. They've asked Pletcher, he's on the fence about where he'd run him next. If, you know, I think both signs are good, to be honest with you. If he runs him in the allowance, they want to be patient with the horse and get maybe one and go. And you, at the very least, you could see him in the Preakness or maybe in the Belmont. He's bred to run in the Belmont. So we'll see. But you can definitely tell they're very high. And according to Pletcher, they are high on him. Okay, so let's add. I'm going to add Paul's horse, Paul had a hell of a week last weekend. Another Twist of Fate.
But he's a wild card.
It's definitely a wild card because now they're talking about running this horse on the dirt next out versus a synthetic specialist. You know, you and I talked a lot about this earlier today. This is a horse that debuted on the dirt in Santa Anita and got stomped.
Yeah.
So you have that looming over you if that was a case of just being a maiden or a case of running on the dirt.
I would put him and Some Like It Hot Brown in that category of, if they like the dirt, they could probably make the gate. And another Twist of Fate, you know, he showed he was pretty talented in that race. So if he could get on and he could run well in the dirt and kind of prove it, he might actually be a little bit of a player in this thing. I was super impressed by his performance.
I was too. And Ryan, you mentioned you have to add Roadster to this category because I feel like, and trust me, I'm kicking myself for not dropping Gunnet versus dropping Roadster at the time. But how can you blame me? The horse had quarter cracks and was coming off breathing issues, and he hasn't ran for 6 months. But it's Bob Baffert.
That doesn't spell Derby winner usually. No.
And then all of a sudden he's blazing out of the gate.
That usually spells off till August.
Yeah, you know, as you kept telling me, he's Nero. He's Nero this year. You know, like he's just gonna fool you the whole year, thinking he's about to come back. And he doesn't. He may still be. You never know. I have a hard time. I could see him pointing him towards sprinting. Period. Anyways, I could see him. You know, getting in the right circumstances, the right kind of race, like Sunland Derby, where he goes out and just runs really fast, and there's not much in there to beat him, and he wins the race, and he ends up being in the Derby. So,
guys, I'm telling you right now, there's not much, period, anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
He could go beat anybody if he's right and runs a solid race.
I'm not convinced he's a mile and 8th horse.
No, that's true, but say he went, somehow they was like, we're going to run him in the Gotham.
Well, yeah.
He'd be the favorite.
Anywhere he'd be the favorite, I think.
Unless he's facing the 4 that I talked about. He wouldn't be the favorite like the Fountain of Youth. There's no way he'd ever go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would. There's just not a star horse that has been in a prep yet. I think War Will is a really, really good horse. I don't think he's like a superstar horse.
Did you mention Global Campaign?
I mentioned I think he probably should run in the I didn't have him as wild card. No, we haven't talked about him. But I think he should run the Gotham. I really like him. I thought his last race was solid. I just don't think he's gonna develop enough to be like a main Derby horse. But I think he's pretty good.
I think he's pretty good too.
I think he's gonna be more of a summer horse.
I think the experience how do I say this? I think the road to get there is going to be too much for that horse.
I do too.
And the connections.
I do too, because I mean, you look at if he's going to go to the Fountain of Youth, I think the party's over, because that's going to be really, really tough race. I think if he went to the Gotham, he's got a better shot to make the Derby.
I think both horses from that that allowance race. Him and Standard Deviation should go to the Gotham. They need to go to Aqueduct.
No, Standard Deviation can't go to the Gotham. He can't run a mile. Are you kidding me? He needs to go.
My point is they need to go to that circuit. They need to get out.
They
gotta
need to
get
go
out
to
of
the
here.
Wood for sure.
Because they can't win. Well, Standard Deviation especially can't win. Anymore.
Where's he? Well, Standard Deviation, let's talk about him for a second. I think he's going to go Bluegrass.
Well, he's definitely going. Like, that's got to be the goal. Just like Nick Sco, like, that's got to be the goal because both of those horses, like, their claim to fame is running really well that day.
Right.
So you got to assume that that's the goal. Now, is there going to be a race between, Chad Brown, all of a sudden, he just got nothing, Network Effect out. All his horses are dropping. He started off with some nice contenders back in the fall.
Yeah.
And he's got nothing. Standard Deviation is his last hope. So you would imagine he'll be.
That's like
that's a terrible last
like
line of defense.
Zion's shoe being your last shoe. Good luck.
Oh man. So let's see. One last question here, and we'll end this segment. Would any of these horses hit the board in last year's Derby, based on what you have seen and have projected them to do?
Any of these horses, as in the horse, like
if they're talking about the horses that we've seen run,
well, no, not the horses we've seen run.
They definitely. No. You got Audible got third. No, they would not hit the board.
No, Audible would beat the horses we've seen. So far,
easily. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any now. We don't know. Obviously,
Audible of last year would beat the. I don't think Audible this year would maybe, but
the shell of himself this year.
Ooh, yeah, he's not great, but I think third and then the second place finisher, Good Magic, would way better than these horses. I think so far. March is going to have to tell us a lot.
Well,
right? If it doesn't, then. If we have the same attitude about the horses April 1st as we do right now, it's going to be one of those races where you got to play supers and tries and just try to get lucky like we did when Always Dreaming won that Derby.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing.
That's how it felt.
The last few Derbies, like Justify, we were locked in on. American Pharoah, we were locked in on. And then the two in between, we just tried to take shots, and we got lucky the Always Dreaming year.
Got lucky that year, did not get lucky the next year. That was just
the year before.
Or the year before, I should say.
We hit the winner, but we didn't have the underneath stuff.
Yeah.
We tried to go deep. But anyway.
But yeah, March kicks off the March 2nd, Fountain of Youth, just to go over the schedule. The Gotham is March 9th. You got the San Felipe March 9th and the Tampa Bay Derby March 9th.
Yeah.
And the Jeff Ruby Stakes March 9th.
Kind of a busy day, March 9th.
A busy day. And, we luckily, we would be at San Felipe. It's probably a good day not to go because we'll be super slammed.
Yeah.
The Rebel the following week will be there. Assuming that there's at least one good horse that comes in that. The Louisiana Derby, March 23rd. The Southern Derby, March 24th. The UAE Derby and the Florida Derby are both on March 30th.
Are we going to the UAE Derby?
We're going to flip a coin, whether it's UAE or the Florida.
I'll take Florida.
Chances are going to be Florida.
Yeah.
April 6th, the Wood. Granted, we start with the Louisiana Derby, I'm sorry, the 100-point races.
Yep.
Then the UAE, and the rest of them are going to be 100-point races. Wood Memorial, April 6th. Bluegrass, April 6th. San Antonio Derby, April 6th. We'll be at San Antonio Derby. First time we'll ever attend the San Antonio Derby, so that'll be fun.
Yep.
The Augusta Derby will be there April 13th, and then the Lexington, April 13th. So April 13th is a big day, obviously, for the last leg, but Lexington I think this is going to be a very important race this year because I feel like all these horses are the bottom half of the group that we're talking about that we just don't have any clue. Mm-hmm. That's where these horses, Sueno, Super Steed, stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised to see them in Lexington because we need the points. Yeah. Like we got to get in. Like Sueno to me is a lock to be in Lexington.
Yeah, I mean if he's going to take the My Boy Jack route,
he's going to run it.
Louisiana Derby and then the Lexington. Yeah.
All right, so stay tuned. It's going to get crazy. All right, guys.
Is it mailbag time now? I think the party's over.
It's a mailbag. Oh. It's our favorite time of the week.
Can I leave?
No.
Oh, gosh.
Let's make this quick.
Let's not read any. Okay, cool.
Well, we opened the mailbag and we didn't get any. Sorry.
Like the comments I love because they're usually, really good. The email we get, I wouldn't. No. I don't want to read it.
Oh, man. All right. Let's just get to it.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Mailbag. It's the mailbag time. I know I've been saving that clip for a while. It's been a while. Like I said in the opener, I think it's like 2015. So we've got tons of mail. Basically, it means that we didn't have any segment to fill this dead air, and we decided, hey, let's open up the mailbag, the fake mailbag, and let's talk about some of the questions that we've been getting. I don't know. I mean, this is let's go through. I guess go through a couple of them. Oh, by the way, we almost forgot about this. It would have been typical of us. Let's do a trivia.
Okay, do the trivia.
Let's do trivia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I answer? No, I can't answer.
You can't answer because you have the answer right in front of you.
Okay.
But it's trivia time. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna try this out. It may be a total flop. It may work. You guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. So you got it. That's first key. You got to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then email us at contact@racingdudes.com. Hit us up on Twitter or direct, DM us or something with your answer. So you have to do both. The first person to successfully do both will get a free day pass of our premium picks worth $20 that used whenever you want them. So we're going to try this.
Wait, we're giving stuff out for this?
Yeah, sorry. Geez. So you and if you know the answer on here, don't just message it on here, because then if you get, if someone sees your answer, they can go out there, subscribe.
What do they have to do? They have to email it to us?
Email us.
Oh, so we get more email. Great.
Contact. Well, we're gonna steal their email. We're gonna add it to our database. So
good.
It's a little.
Yeah, we'll spam you to death. All right.
Sounds good. And for those of you listening on Friday, chances are you're too late, which is all the reason why you need to listen to these when we do them live. But stay tuned to the end of this podcast, and we'll give away the answer.
Are we ever going to give out cash?
No.
Okay, good.
This is only free stuff.
Okay.
Free stuff to get them in the door. All right. So here he goes. And this is a shout out to our boy, John White, who I got this question from. Name the only horse ever disqualified for a race foul in the 144-year history of the Kentucky Derby. And you must also give the year of the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, so name the horse that got
disqualified. The only horse ever to be DQ'd in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
Name the horse
and the year.
And the year of that Derby.
Okay.
So there you go. That's a good one, because it has to do with we talked about Country House earlier and his lugging issues, and this is a horse that had the same issues as well. Dennis knew it instantly. That's my man. All right, so you're a subscriber, I'm sure. So go over and email us at contact@racingdudes.com, and you can get a free day pass whenever you want to use those. So, and stay tuned for later in the show, and we'll give away the answer.
I don't know it.
You don't know it?
I know it because you told me.
Yeah, I told you. All right,
and I read that article.
Let's go to the first question in the mailbag. Talking about John White. John White's weekly column today hints that War of Will could become a superstar. Do you agree? That's from Henry B.
No.
I don't agree with that as well.
I did. Well, it's so weird that question was asked, and I just said it like 5 minutes ago. I think he's a really nice horse. I don't think he's a superstar.
No. I
think he's really cool, too. To be able to win on turf and dirt. I mean, well, he didn't win on turf.
No, but he ran his ass off on turf. Right, yeah. I mean, he got second to Fog of War on turf, who I think could come back to be really good this year.
I do too.
But yeah, no, I don't. I think John really wants him to be a superstar.
I do too.
But I don't think he is. But as far as in terms of what we've seen this year run so far,
he's a superstar compared to those horses. Like I said, he's got a shot to win it. Here's what has to happen.
Right.
These horses have to not run as well next time.
All right, here's the next one from Ben J. Instagram.
Benny J.
LBJ. Instagram, Improbable, and Game Winner are all pointing to the San Felipe. Of those three, discuss the likelihood of each horse having success on the Triple Crown Trail, including the 3 Triple Crown races.
3 horses? What were the 3 horses? No, I'm kidding.
Big 3.
Very good chance. All 3 of them are going to have success.
Do you think 2 of the 3 could win the Triple Crown races? Like, do you think one could each? Like, 2 of those 3 will win a Triple Crown race?
No, I'm not going to go that far.
Interesting.
I think one of them will probably win one of the Triple Crown races.
Just a reminder for all you guys that are watching us live, if you have questions that you want us to answer, this would be a good time to do so. All right. This was one we get a lot of. How do I reset my password? No. Just don't. As a joke. But we do get that. No. Hit the button that says reset your password.
Yes.
Where can I find the pick 3, pick 4, pick 5s, etc. on your premium picks?
Yeah, so we do get this one a lot, and I understand, but the easiest way to do it, because we do every single track, there's a section called multi-race bets or multi-race suggestions. I think it is. That's where you find them. So if you're
saying like that leg, that's what we'd play.
Multi-races in pick 3s, 4s, 5 multi-races. So yeah, so if you're gonna play a pick 3 and you're gonna start with the first race, in the first race it says 1, 2, 6 under multi-race bets. That's who you play in the first leg of it. Then you go to leg 2 and it says 2, 6. Okay, that's who you play in the second leg of it. Just like that.
All right, Dennis wants to know if the one horse wins a turf weight right here, should I be shot for not betting?
Dennis.
Yes, you should.
Yes,
it is 7-1. So
all right, let's call this race right here. He's in front by about a half. Hopefully our feed isn't delayed, the one you're watching, or hopefully it's not ahead.
Yeah.
He's in front of half.
He looks good. The 3's pumping a little bit.
The 3's pumping in the 1. He hadn't asked the 1 yet. Here we go.
You got 2-1. The 2 horse looking pretty good.
Here comes the 5 obtained.
Moving.
I think obtained or the 6 is going to win this.
They went a little quick in the half.
Yeah.
I don't know if the 1 can hold on there, Dennis.
Dennis is done.
You're good.
He's
Don't be mad. You
obtained or the 6. I told you the 6 over the top. I don't know who the 6 is, but I'm sure we had it on top.
Yeah, good call. Not betting the 1, Dennis.
Yeah.
All right. What budget do you recommend for your premium plays? That's from Curtis K.
Curtis K. Yeah, well, for Curtis, $2 shows that's what he makes.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, let's see. I had Menace the Dennis on top in that race.
Wow, you guys working together.
We're screwed together. The budget, people ask that a lot, and my answer to you is bet what you can afford. You can get into horse racing and only bet $2 a race, and that's okay. If you're having fun and you're trying to make a little money, that's fine. Bet what you can afford. That is the best advice I could really ever give anybody, because that's what makes it. I mean, if you're betting your rent money, then that's when the game doesn't become fun. It becomes stressful.
Right. We so much get these emails where it's like they've played like the first 5 races of the day, and they played every single thing we had, and they don't have a budget to do that. And then they email us and they're upset.
Yeah.
It's like use your own judgment on, okay, I have this much money to play today.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, never bet more than you can lose, which should be a no-brainer. And then decide how you want to play the card. It doesn't mean you can play every race.
Right.
Me personally, honestly, I go to the track. I may make a handful of bets the whole day because I'm just I pick my spots and then I pound them.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Because my opinion is the highest on those races. And if I'm wrong, then that's fine. But I put the most knowledge and most work into it.
It's okay to play every race when you're at the track too. Just make sure it's like, okay,
I've done that too.
I like this horse in the 6th race. Well, make sure you in the first 5 races, you don't play the same amount that you're going to play in the 6th race with the horse that you really like.
Like, for instance, last year, Kentucky Derby, of course, we're busy when we go to the, we're in the press and stuff working, but I didn't make a wager until the start of the 2 races prior to the Derby, because it was the start of or maybe the 3 races, the pick 4 and I started playing pick 4 and pick 3 and stuff because I had strong opinions in all of those races. Obviously, I had a very strong opinion on Justify, and it came time then I put, you and I both had our biggest win bets of our lives on that horse to win on the nose. And that's because we felt the strongest about it. And, and you got to be, a lot of people get so impatient throughout the day to bet. When it comes time to that race, we're like, oh, I love that horse, but I only have like $5 to bet.
Yeah.
You can't make your opinion matter as much, and that's kind of the really good advice, I think, is if you look at, you get our premium picks and you're like, okay, I like these. Look, they've got a 7-1 on top here that's another thing. If you are boxing 3 horses and we can't control the odds, what they are come post time, and you look at our top 3 horses and it's 2-5, 2-1 and 5-2.
Yeah,
that's not going to matter if it comes in anyways.
Yeah,
because try to play the one on top or whatever, and then hammer the exact or whatever you're playing. Yeah, hammer it. And
don't play a 3-horse exact.
Or don't play it at all. If you think it's going to be chalky, just don't play it.
Yeah,
so you got to understand kind of the outcomes as well, like what you foresee the outcomes. All right, we have one more question here. Oh wow, it just says "Help me, Bravazzo." Help, period, me, period. That's all it says. and it's cut out letters from magazines is what it is.
Poor Bravazzo.
On the back of it says, "Don't let him send me to Dubai." jeez.
All right, mailbag's all right in my book now. That's great.
The poor Ravazo just keeps running too well and keeps having to run in these big races.
Don't let him send me to Dubai.
We can't do much about it, Ravazo. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll talk to him, but you're still going.
Stop giving him the look. Every time we talk to him, he says you gave him the look.
He's giving him the look. Stop. That's what he's saying. I'm freaking tired.
Give him another look then, because it ain't working.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. So
that's hilarious.
that will end it with that. With
so we cut out Optimizer, but now we have Ravazo.
Well, you got to have a Lucas horse in here, and Bravazo's the only one that fits the bill right now. So there you go. Bravazo.
Sporting Chance, he's coming back.
Oh, man. My boy, Sporting Chance, coming back. Did you notice his work the other day? He was on the inside.
Mm-hmm. I did notice that. Yeah.
He'll never live that down. Give me a race. Can we have a return race with him and who's Ryan's favorite horse that we talk about, the Romans horse that
Free Drop Billy.
Free Drop Billy. Yeah, give me that.
Let's see those two go at it again.
Yeah, down the stretch.
Sporting Chance about kills him every time. Yeah.
You guys may want to see, Improbable versus Game Winner down the stretch in Sam Fleet. Not me.
I
want to see those. I want to see those two.
I think Free Drop Billy is.
He's done, right?
He's covering some mares right now.
Yeah, I think
he's living the good life.
Yeah, Sporting Chance, not Sporting Chance.
No,
he had to come back.
That poor bastard's still running. Yeah,
he Sporting Chance, talked to his buddy Market King. He thought, "Oh boy,
you're
in for it, son. You're."
Now we know he's standing still.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up, Slim? Yeah.
So was that Slim that said that?
Michael Spector.
Hey, Michael Spector, how do you say Knicks go by chance? Do you have any idea how to say it?
Yeah, you know how to say it. Is K-Knicks go? K-Knicks go?
Sorry, he was correcting this. I just had to say that.
Knicks.
We could have a Larry Jones double at Oakland here coming up.
Oh, man. Well,
yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Like the basketball team. I love you, buddy.
All right.
Miss you, Slim.
That's a wrap on the old mailbag.
All right. Is that the show?
Yeah, we're done. We just got to wrap it up.
Let's stick on here and watch New Colossus. He's getting ready to run for Larry Jones. He was the horse that broke his maiden last time out at Oakland by 10.5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 4-year-old. So let's stay on. I mean, not the podcast, but the video.
Yeah, I'm not recording the podcast right now. So.
Okay, good. So the podcast is done.
We just got to do the closing.
Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, there you go. Larry Thomas told me on Twitter. Why are we at Delta right now?
Did your boy Bick ever admit to that total fail? Little Slim?
He's probably still calling him K-Knicks go.
Here, let's just do the closing while they're walking around.
All right, let's do the closing.
So you still got what? Oh, are they post time? Well, they're not going to show it. What are they doing?
We got our boy Don, Delta Don on here. Don Stevens is talking about his early pick 4 at Delta. He's got a $30 ticket. He's one of the best announcers. Here we go.
There we go. Let's watch it.
Here we go. We're going to watch the race here. Nothing like two guys watching a horse race live on YouTube, right? Speaking of a horse that helped me, the one horse, Gray Sky. He's still running.
He's in it?
He runs him every 2 weeks.
Oh, my God.
He owns the horse now. Lucas owns that horse.
He just finally bought him. He's like, where's he going?
Well, yeah, they probably gave him to him. Well, okay. New Colossus is third from last. He's kind of drafting behind the leaders right now, if you're not watching this. He's third and on clear. Fox Hill Farms owns this horse. Every time I see those colors, it reminds me of 8 Bells, watching her at Oakland. My wife's first ever race she ever went to, 8 Bells. Yeah, we got there kind of late in the day. It was on a Saturday, and we were going to go to the races Sunday and Monday, and we got there in time to watch 8 Bells. I think she won the Martha Washington.
Didn't the other Fox Hill horse, Omaha Beach, win the same day this horse did? Or am I thinking wrong? Seemed like it was maybe the same day.
It was close. The next day.
No, it was like a Friday, Saturday.
Yes, this horse won on a Friday, and Omaha won on a Saturday.
This horse won on the Smarty undercard, right?
No.
Or no?
No.
It wasn't?
No. He won. It wasn't the Smarty. I was on my way to Colorado when he won.
Okay.
I'm not sure he's going to win.
He looks like he's
They're asking him, and he's bounced.
done.
So he's going to bounce. He's third. Gray Sky coming up the rail here.
Come on, Gray Sky, one time.
When Gray Sky flies by you, that means you've bounced over the moon.
Look, Gray
Look at Gray Sky. He's going to win.
Come on, Gray Sky. Get up.
Oh,
Get up.
Get up.
Level off, dude.
He
God,
can't.
you little
I
bastard.
can't believe he lost that race to the 8 horse. But he picks up a check. That's allowance race. So
Dwayne can eat dinner tonight.
New Colossus last.
There you go. That's what happens when you sometimes we're talking about these horses. I know this is a very weird example, but these horses that freak one time, you never know.
Yeah, wow, he's done. That was fun. So Larry Jones wins with a 23-1 shot and can't get a 4-5 home. That's horse racing, right?
Ryan, we will give out the answer, but we're not going to give the answer out on the live recording. That's the whole point.
Yeah, Ryan.
You got to be able to tune in tomorrow if you want to know on the live on the final podcast. All right, let's. I just want to say something on here. I can't remember. Oh. Magic said to check out the website. I'm guessing he got that article up, did he?
Intrepid Heart article is the headline on the website.
Ooh, yeah. And he's good. Go to the website, racenews.com. It's a really good article from our boy Magic on Intrepid Heart, talking about his plans from Todd Pletcher on what he thinks they're going to go to. Some quotes from Pletcher in there. So
I'm getting where I like that website a little more every day.
RacingDudes.com?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're full of shit, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, I hate the owners, but I listen to the Magic Mike show.
I do too. Go listen. They're good. A little different than us, so it's a good look 1-2 combo.
Yeah.
Different is a way to say it. All right. Let's close it up. 3, 2, 1. So tell me, check us out at racingnews.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our handicapping products page. Click the handicapping products link on the main menu at racingnews.com to learn more. Subscribe to our monthly premium picks today and get our next month's inside track to the Big Cap wagering guide, March 9th, 2019, included for free. And that doesn't include the Big Cap. All the races on the undercard that day, talking about the San Felipe, which you might as well call it the San Felipe inside track, because that race is going to be the highlight of the card. We're currently covering 19 tracks, all offering free picks. We're on Twitter at Racer_Dudes, Instagram, Google Plus, and Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, even our website at racenews.com. What you got?
So we're doing a Fountain of Youth guide, right?
Are we?
Yeah. Are we not?
You told me the next guide was this one. So if you want to do,
sweet.
I don't think we're doing a Fountain Youth guide.
All right. So we're doing a Big Cap guide. And then we're doing a.
You can do whatever guide you want, son.
We're doing the Big Cap, and then it goes to Florida Derby, and then it goes Bluegrass, and then it goes Arkansas Derby.
Arkansas Derby,
All right.
Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont. I can't remember after that, but it gets good. It obviously the 3 Triple Crown race. The Kentucky Derby one is epic. I mean, it's what you. I mean,
yeah. So
subscribe to our premium picks. To get access to that. We're currently covering 19 tracks. I already talked about that. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Take advantage of this weekend. Bet whatever you want to bet, but take advantage of the break because it gets crazy next week. Good luck this weekend.
I think we're doing a Fountain of Youth guide, dude.
Look it up, man. It's not what you told me because I put it on the handicapping products page.
Well, why are you listening to me?
That's a good question.
Look, there's a Fountain of Youth Stakes logo.
Then maybe we're doing one.
I think we're doing one. I was planning on it.
Let's do it then.
Okay.
I need to have them change the.
Do
you get that? You're doing a Big Cap one too?
Yeah.
The next week?
I'll look it up here.
This guy. This is what I work with. If you go to our handicapping products page, you can see the next guide says the Big Cap, which would be a great deal if it is both guides, because you would subscribe for $70 for the month, get our premium picks for a full month, and get 2 guides in that. So,
I'll find it.
Anyways, you guys have any questions? Slim, you're not making the bet this weekend. Yeah, I don't blame you. Save the bullets.
Yeah, we're doing a Fountain of Youth. Here's a guide schedule for the foreseeable future. Fountain of Youth, Florida Derby. We're not doing a Big Cap. We're doing a Fountain of Youth.
What the hell? That's an error. Well,
yeah. Yeah, we're doing a Fountain of Youth. Fountain of Youth, Florida Derby.
We better re-record the closing there,
Yeah.
huh?
So Fountain of Youth, Florida Derby, Bluegrass, and Arkansas Derby. That's the next 4 guides.
All right.
Before Kentucky. Yep. There you go.
Got to update that page now.
You said that, and I thought we had the Fountain of Youth.
We might want to do the Big Cap guide now since we've been talking about it for a couple of weeks.
I'll do it if you want me to do it. It's fine.
Yeah, Slim, I know. What
do you say?
He said, what the hell? You've been talking about the Big Cap guide for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll do one. We'll have that.
Fountain of Youth is next week.
Yeah, I know. But we'll do a Big Cap. We'll do both. That's fine. I plan on doing both. So.
You sure?
Yep. Yeah, I can do it.
Oh, do you guys have any questions? Yeah, we get both guides now, so it's an unbelievable deal. It's the best deal we can offer. Yeah, nominations are out for the Fountain of Youth Day. It looks incredible.
Yes.
Slim, I have a question for you. I don't know if you were listening to all of it earlier, and you were the one that mentioned Maximum Mischief on Twitter as a horse you think will rebound off of the poor effort to start the year. One, do you think he's actually going to run? Because he literally has not worked since, unless he worked today. I have not looked. He's not worked since the Holy Bull. So does that concern you? Do you think maybe he's a week away? Do you think maybe the Gotham instead? Or do you think something's up? Because I really don't. I mean, being that he's on my fantasy team, I'd like to know.
I think he's injured.
I think he's injured too. I heard a rumor that he was.
Really? You weren't just lying? Seriously?
No. Yeah, I heard it was a tendon thing.
Who knows? Ooh, good answer.
Thanks for the help,
Yeah,
Slim. I'm glad that get paid the big bucks for that one. Boy, I could have looked on Twitter for that one.
Who knows? I'm going to open up the Derby Trail Tracker here real quick.
Don't all under the Derby Trail Tracker say who knows?
Let's see. So the Fountain of Youth, Singleman, Code of Honor, Bourbon War, Vacoma, Maximum Mischief, Hidden Scroll, Admire, Global Campaign, Mijos, Harvey Wallbanger. Harvey Wallbanger's going to wait, I think. That is a star-studded lineup, no doubt.
It's the best grouping we've had until the next week in San Felipe, assuming that happens.
There's been very little news about him. Slim, who is your smoke a cigarette bet of the?
Yeah.
Oh, geez. All right. We're going downhill now.
You guys got anything, or else we're gonna get off here?
Yeah.
To smoke the cigarette was the end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I read, and you probably read this too, Slim, was that the plan all along was to run Holy Bull and then go in train up to the Florida Derby, so bypass Fountain Youth completely. But when he ran poorly, they completely said, "Oh no, let's go back to the Fountain Youth." So I would not be surprised if they do exactly that and train up to the Florida Derby. Because one, he could be hurt and they might need the time. Two, they might say, well, screw this. We're not running in the Fountain of Youth if he can't even win in the Holy Bull. So I wouldn't be surprised if that, or if he shows up somewhere else. He was nominated for the Jeff Ruby Stakes. So,
just a bit of news. Penn National has canceled tonight.
There goes my night.
Yep. So if you're playing Penn National, don't, because it got canceled. Let's see if Charlestown's running. They've been canceling. Yes, 26 minutes opposed to Charlestown. There you go.
Slim. Mind Control in the Wood, huh?
Mind Control in the Wood is his cigarette bet. Okay.
I think Mind Control has very little shot.
And I watch it. It kind of sucks. It ruins my night when Penn National doesn't run.
Mind Control should run in the Gotham.
Mind Control should probably run on allowance.
That's funny.
It'd be a good spot for him. He might actually win. I don't think Mind Control's worth a damn.
I know what you meant. Yeah, you're so nervous. You're gonna smoke a cigarette while you're waiting at the track for the race.
I will smoke a cigarette because I'm so nervous at the track. Yes.
Yeah. Let's hope the outcome's better than when we did that with Arrogate. I didn't smoke a cigarette. I just watched you do it. So.
Right. One of my favorite things is to watch him
freak
smoke
out.
the cigarette. Yeah. Exactly. All the Derby hopefuls, which is the worst or going to be the worst when it's all done? All the Derby. Let me pull up my list.
Like of the horses?
Yeah.
It's got. Let's use like a good one too. Not like Tax or something.
Like Nick's Go, I think he's a hopeful. He's gonna suck. I don't think Nick's Go.
Well, yeah,
ever win another race.
Nick's Go is this like between Maximus Mischief. Nick's Go was very highly touted on Twitter. Was people saying would bounce back. So people really like him.
Of the top 10, Harvey. Well, he's not a top 10 of very many.
I'll say.
That's tough.
I mean, I would go
Gunmetal Gray.
Gunmetal Gray, I think, or Country House even. I know you like Country House, but I mean, I do too. But I mean, we saw one race.
I think he could be valuable down the line. Maybe.
I think Gunmetal Gray, especially considering he's easily the third best horse now in his group. Because you've got Instagram and you've got Galeen, so. He's easily the one that's super forgettable.
He just doesn't have that talent level either. It's just like he's just a one run grinder.
Having said that, he'll probably finish fourth in the Kentucky Derby.
Probably.
So
like Silvergard did, yeah.
Made us a bunch of money, so do that. Make sure you include him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't. He's a cool horse though. I like him. He's just not very fast.
I don't like him.
Well, you got him on your team, so
I don't like anybody on my team. Here's the deal. All these Baffert horses, you send me pictures, they're huge and look good. And then mine looks like a little donkey. Mucho Gusto's tiny horse.
You know who's awesome looking? Go look at pictures of Omaha Beach. That guy's a beast.
Yeah, he's a big.
He looks like a turf horse. And that's what Country House does too. That's what really alerted me of him when you looked at him. He's a big horse. He's got that big, just big frame on him. It makes it look like he's a turf type style, which is why he ran on the turf. But clearly, that's what I think makes him so good down the lane.
Yeah. Tough question, too. I agree. All right.
What's
we got another one?
I got one. No, I got one for you. What's the I was going to ask it.
I was kidding.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to ask you one earlier, and I forgot. Give me one out of to his point. Give me one of the bottom 10 through or not 11 through 20 that could be like, let's say a Derby like top 3 choice in the Kentucky Derby. That was a good question.
Galeen.
Yeah.
Or no, I'd say he's got the best shot at it. Because he's got like the running style you want for the Derby. He can kind of sit off of it.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is, if he goes out and
but he's not too far out of it.
He's he's already got the hype behind him. So if he goes out and does it again and does it away from California, it sounds like it's possible.
Yeah.
Then he becomes.
Maybe he comes to the Rebel.
That would be I'd say that's very possible.
Yeah. Maybe he'll come to the Rebel.
Because like you say, you gotta. This is a year in particular. You've got to can't get too deep into the that trainer never goes there because like you said there's so many opportunities.
Condorf will come to Oakland though. Some. Yeah.
But my point is if you say Bob Baffert never goes to such. I mean this time of the year, this year in particular, you just gotta like you said, other than the couple of those sections, you don't have anything. So you gotta find just open spots where you can win.
How about this? Intrepid Heart, Galeen, Mucho Gusto, and the Southwest runners. Who you got in the Rebel? If that's who the field is.
Would you say the
Southwest field? Galeen, Mucho Gusto, and Intrepid Heart, and then the rest of the Southwest runners.
Well, I think you just named the top 3. I mean,
but who wins out of those?
I think I would still lean on Mucho. I think just because of Baffert.
I'm not so sure.
If he ships him, he's
that's true. He ships to win.
But it'd be kind of funny if if Baffert, playing head games with Holdorfer, at San Felipe and saying, hey, I'm going to run these two. And then he does. And, they mess with Instagram. And then he ships El Mucho. And it'd be funny to see Instagram win San Felipe and then Galilean win the Rebel.
Yeah.
And he's got a big FU to Baffert. Like, yeah, what's up?
Well, that would be hilarious. Let's root for that.
That could happen. I mean, it's possible.
Maybe.
If Instagram is.
I have nothing against Bob Baffert. I just think it would be kind of fun. Like, that'd be kind of fun. Like, just crazy.
It would be.
Everybody would be going nuts.
And it would be the year of Holdorfer, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Because that would be
something. Yeah. And then Governmental Greg goes and wins somewhere. Just kidding.
You talk about, and then lastly, I think, because in our league this week, who was it? John and Ryan claimed Omaha Beach.
Yeah.
Because they got points coming out their ass, and they could just claim a horse that people were on the fence about, and that's what Omaha Beach is.
Yeah.
He kind of got a tough. If it does come through what they're going to say, it's all of a sudden tough. Because that was a big reason why I didn't want to claim him, because it's like, well, he's going to run the San Felipe. It's Mandela. He's going. He tends to. I mean, he would never ship Beholder anywhere. So he's going to run.
Right.
He's going to stay there.
Yeah. And
so now all of a sudden you're easily fourth. If those horses go, you're fourth choice. So.
Yep.
And
a tough race.
And a tough race. So
feel bad for John and Ryan.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah. Oh, it'd be too bad if you guys, had the Derby winner in the race and had the second place horse in the race possibly. Tough. It's bad whenever you guys are in first place. And you don't even have Hidden Scroll running yet. You don't have Improbable running yet. Worth Will is your top.
He's been running.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Actually, it's funny. We have most people on this thing now than we had.
Because they're off work now. Yeah. They missed the whole show.
Yeah. I was looking at our total points for the league, and it goes to show you it's a good lesson learned too. Is when you look at the how much the claims really come back to bite you, or depending, but like you and I have had roughly the same amount of points gained. You know what I mean? As far as earned points, not. But you have what, 50 points?
Yeah.
And I've got 11.
I have 56.
So you've got roughly 50 points, 40 something, more than I do.
Yeah.
And because I've claimed 3 horses at 10 a piece, and I claimed 1 at 20.
And I've claimed 1.
And you claimed 1
at 10. Yeah.
So exactly. So
who got fourth in allowance is hurt now.
But to be fair, look at the points I got horses from. Country House claimed.
Yep.
Gray Tint claimed.
Yep. You did claim him. Yeah.
So those were the two. Now Intrepid Heart has not ran since I've claimed, and Standard Deviation, which I've turned into Maximus Mischief.
Right.
So
Country.
So, but the point is, you start claiming a ton, and you could, even if you start getting points, you just don't have enough to get. You got to make it worth the claim,
right?
So you've done, and that goes to show you. I kind of thought, the draft isn't as important this year because you have
it's more important.
All the opportunities to claim.
More important than ever.
I learned very quickly.
I told you that draft night, and you're like, whatever. I hadn't thought about it.
Well, it showed with my draft. So,
I'm gonna draft gun it. Who cares? I'll drop him if I have to. Still got him.
Still got him. I get roasted for the first round. I'll drop him. No, he's probably gonna win Southern Derby. So
yeah.
All right, fellas, ladies, whoever's on here, make sure to go and answer our question. So we can give out a winner. All right. See ya next week. The guys, Magic Mike Show might do one this weekend. Don't know for sure. Maybe Monday. If not, we will be back on a week from now previewing the Fountain of Youth. And
apparently there's a guy coming out.
There's a guy coming out for it too. So stay tuned. All right. See you guys.